All right, people, welcome on back to the channel. We're going to be talking the All NBA Selections 2024-25 season. We're going to look at the first team, the second team, and we can even discuss the third team if you guys want to. I'll leave it to the end, actually, because I don't want to pass up on those guys. Those guys obviously deserve a lot of respect for having great seasons, and some of them are just ascending, right? They're just scratching the surface. But let's do the first team to kind of start things off here. All right, I don't see any problem with these all NBA selections. Perfect, fine, fantastic. I don't see how you could do it any better. You've got Giannis, you have SGA, the Joker, Donovan Mitchell, and then Jason Tatum. I love it. I think everything there is fantastic. I think you have essentially the best player at each position, or general positions. You got your forwards, you got your guards, and then you got your center. Who's better than Joker at the center position in the league? I don't think there is one, and I don't think it's very close. I think it's an extreme margin, actually. SGA, the MVP of the league, I mean, imagine an All-NBA team without the MVP. It doesn't even make sense. Giannis, right? So dominant, so good. Donovan Mitchell had a great season, was very efficient throughout the year. Obviously, the team had a huge regular season success, so it makes sense that he belongs on the first team. And Jason Tatum is a fantastic player. There's not many better than him. You're looking at maybe just a few guys on the screen there with him that you could consider, but that's pretty much it. I think this first team is perfect. I don't see how you can make an argument for anything else, right? So, and then the first place votes, for first team match. Giannis, SGA, Joker, and Tatum all got 100 first place votes. So, in kind of how you look at this voting, those are perfect scores. The only player that did not get a perfect 100 rating for first place votes was Donovan Mitchell. He was, I think, awarded 61 first place votes, 35 second place votes, and 4 third place votes. All right, so interesting. He's the only one that had those kind of lower tier votes. So just something of note. Next up, we have Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, right? A lot of people view him as like the future of the NBA and all that kind of stuff. I mean, his star is ascending. He's fantastic. Watching him in the playoffs, it's been a lot of fun. And, watching him kind of emerge as, a spectacular player. Two sides, right? He plays offense, plays defense. He's got it all, right? Full package. He's definitely in position to be a first All-NBA team very, very soon. I'd be shocked if he didn't make it next year. You're putting him in situations like, maybe he levels up, right? We're talking about him maybe replacing Donovan Mitchell or Jason Tatum. Tatum obviously is going to be injured for a duration of time, but, somebody's going to step up, and I think it's going to be Ant-Man, right? All right, next one. And actually, you know what? This one's crazy. LeBron James made an All-NBA second team. Guys, I can't wait to show you who is on the third team, because LeBron is on the second team. Like, that's literally what this boils down to. So LeBron actually got 17 first place votes. That is so absurd. It makes zero sense. LeBron had a really good couple of months back in January and February where he kind of was like, really playing good basketball, offensively, defensively. But you can't be an All-NBA second team player on 2 months. And actually, this is the same thing that I have to say about Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not having a great season. Jimmy Butler shows up, and then all of a sudden Steph starts having blow-up games, right? Because the ability of the team to have those dynamics frees him up, gives him more space, makes him more dangerous, those kinds of things. I don't understand how they're going to keep some of the guys on the third team because they just had to put Steph Curry and LeBron James on the second team. Jalen Brunson, very deserving. Evan Mobley was Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe he wouldn't have won it if Vic Wembanyama, maybe if he was healthy, and played the full season. We're probably talking about him winning the DPOY, right? So, look, this I have a problem with. The LeBron and Steph being on there, that is, and it's funny because like they talk about how like all the old heads and all the people have nostalgia about the old NBA. Like, what the hell do you call this? Stuck in the past. These are guys that are out of time. Like, they're not second team players anymore. No way, no how. They don't do enough or they didn't do enough in this particular season to really get this. I think there's other guys that belong there, in my humble opinion. All right, but LeBron got 17 first place votes, first All NBA team. Steph got 2. That is insane. That is just pure lunacy. LeBron was able to get 61 second team votes and 21 third team votes. I think at the very best, Steph and LeBron are third team players. That's just crazy. No way. Jalen Brunson getting a couple of first team votes. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't. Whatever. Anyways, Evan Mobley got a first team vote. I was really surprised by that. I didn't think he would get one, but he did. But I think they're, for the most part, those are kind of my things there. Now I want to speak to the third team, which is comprised of Cade Cunningham, Karl Anthony Towns, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Williams from Oklahoma City, and James Harden from the LA Clippers. I don't have a problem with those guys being on the third team. I really don't. But what I would have liked to have seen is Cade Cunningham get elevated to second team. Because if you see what Cade Cunningham has done for his team, which was like arguably the worst team in the NBA the previous season, to completely turn around that franchise. I mean, it's not a single effort. They've put nice pieces there on the team, and JB Bickerstaff has done a nice job coaching those guys, but it's clearly the emergence of Cade Cunningham. He's the point guard, he's the leader, and all those kind of things. I really do think he belonged as a second team player. I really do. And look, he's going to be there next year, and he's going to be, one of those guys that you consider face of the league kind of players. They're going to be the ones. I do. The next one I think is criminally underrated is Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe he didn't do enough throughout parts of the season, but I got LeBron and Steph on there, but I'm going to leave off Tyrese Halliburton. What are we really saying? Are we really evaluating players completely when a guy like Tyrese Halliburton gets 0 first place votes, LeBron gets 17, or Tyrese Halliburton gets 11 second team votes, but Steph Curry gets 68? Those are the things I'm kind of talking about, like the discrepancy in those votes. Maybe it's just because he plays in Indiana. I have no idea. But when these guys start winning and when these guys are getting better and better, they're just not going to be able to deny them anymore. It just sucks that it had to happen another year. I think Jalen Williams is good at third team. James Harden's fine at third team. Karl Anthony Towns is fine for a third team. He's a horrible defender. He disappears in games. The fact that he's made a third team, I think, is a blessing. I don't know. Who would you guys, if you had to replace Karl Anthony Towns, who would you put there on the third team that hasn't been mentioned? I'm sure there's some guys you guys can think of, but man, the NBA just needs to move on from these old guys. They just, because they don't really have a contingency plan, they're just trying to milk the game for what it's worth. I'm just so glad that these guys are there. They deserve it. The first All-NBA team, they nailed it. The second team, it's just like the All-Star game. It's getting tired. Anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are. Like, share, subscribe, check out some more videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.